Hi guys, today I'm thinking about retiring in Portugal on a workplace pension, state pension or ISA income. Portugal is very popular with UK expats and retirees for a relocation destination. The former NHR visa, which means non-habitual resident, changed in early 2024 and was very beneficial to retirees as it reduced the amount of tax you would pay on your income substantially for a period of 10 years. The new NHR, which is now known as IFICI, only applies to highly skilled professionals who are working in innovation, research, and scientific sectors, rather than retirees or passive income earners, so is much more restrictive and difficult to obtain. Portugal has a double tax treaty with the UK, so there should be no tax required from the UK for pension income, as long as HMRC are informed correctly of your new country of residence. And of course, there is already no tax required on the ISA income from the UK, with it being a tax wrapper, so protected from all tax. The ISA income taxation is given a choice by the Portuguese government of being taxed at standard progressive rates or at a 28% flat rate. So the 28% flat rate is more preferable if you have a high income from the investments. The spreadsheet shows how workplace pension income, state pension income, and ISA income from dividends would be taxed for a UK expat living in Portugal as a tax resident. So the first column there is the income from a UK workplace pension in pounds. So on an income of £12,570 per year, the tax required by Portugal would be 1743 in pounds. So that's an effective tax rate of 13.9%. And as the amount is doubled as we go down the table, when we come to an amount of £483,840, the tax required is £217,241, which is an effective tax rate of 44.9%. And if you have an extremely high income of around £3.8 million per year off your workplace pension, the tax required would be just over £2 million, with an effective tax rate of 52.7%. And the tax rate gets even higher if you're lucky enough to have £7.7 million of income from the pension per year. So for income off a state pension, for an income of £12,547.60, the tax required by the Portuguese government would be £1,265 per year, which is an effective tax rate of 10.1%. And for ISA income from dividends, on an income of £12,570 per year, the tax required by the Portuguese government would be £3,519 per year, which is an effective tax rate of 28%. So this is when choosing the flat rate of 28%. So as we go down the table and the amount's doubled, we come to an amount of 120,960, and the tax required is £33,868, which again is a tax rate of 28%. So as we get up into huge amounts of income from the ISA, for an income of £7.7 million per year, the tax required would be £2.16 million, with an effective tax rate again of 28%. So when comparing the workplace pension income with the ISA income, for an amount of income of £120,960 per year, the tax from the workplace pension would be £43,592, with a tax rate of 36%. But the ISA income, for the same amount, the amount of tax would be 33,868, so it's substantially less for the ISA. And at the largest amount of 7.7 million, the tax from the workplace pension would be 4.2 million at a rate of 54.8%, but from the ISA it would be 2.16 million at a rate of 28%. So the outcome is that workplace pension is basically taxed at rates which are the same as being a Portuguese resident paying income tax. And the rates are relatively high when compared to other countries. So there doesn't appear to be much of a benefit to being a tax resident of Portugal when compared to being a tax resident of the UK receiving the pension income like there was in the past under the original NHR visa. So the ISA income is taxed a lot less in comparison to the workplace pension income. But with the ISA income being completely tax-free in the UK, it is hard to see the financial benefit of relocating to Portugal on ISA income, especially if you have a high income level. With the cost of living in Portugal currently being $1,480 for a single person, which is £1,104 per month, and the amount of state pension money left over after tax in Portugal being £940 per month, it would be extremely difficult for a single person to live off a state pension alone in Portugal. For most UK expats after Brexit, they would be relocating on a D7 visa, so you would need to demonstrate an income of €12,880 per year, which is £11,231 per year in passive income, with dependents requiring additional income. The income could be from a pension, rental income, dividends or interest from investments. The income level is relatively low when compared to other countries. So if you're looking to relocate to Portugal to live off a UK sourced income, it is certainly not as easy as it used to be, and not the most palatable in terms of levels of taxation. Okay guys, that was retiring in Portugal on a workplace pension, state pension or ISA income. I'll see you on the next one.